Okay, everybody. Welcome to the fourth Bizango Blast Development blog thingy, and today I'm going to show you what's new. So I started working on a tutorial to guide the players how to play the game. It will only load on the first playthrough as long as they haven't beaten the first level. It will always load, and they can always come back to it by going into the extras menu and going through the tutorial. Anyway, this is not the final thing. It's just like a basic schema of what I want to do. So it's going to be all in 3D. There'll be like one of the starfish dudes waving to you. And then I'll explain how to use the cannon. I don't know if I should make it interactive. I feel like it could be cool, but it's like a lot of effort. So I explain how to use the cannon with either the keyboard, the mobile, gamepad, and I guess the mouse if you want to shoot. I don't know, I guess I should program the right mouse click to shoot. Or the space button or the A on the controller, the Xbox. I don't know for PlayStation. I don't know if you can detect what controller it is. And the fire button for mobile. Also, I'll show you what you must aim for, which I guess is important. These bad guys, and what not to aim for, the eggs. And I'm trying to make like a 3D main menu. This is not the final thing, it's just like an idea. I'm trying to get the starfish dudes to be like less creepy, and there's like a random smoke fire from the cannon every now and then, and they're all like waving randomly at you. But the idea is that you would not see all of them, so as you unlock the stages, they appear so you can see how far you've gotten in your progress like at a glance. I still have not done the options menu because that's just a lot of work, and the extras menu too. So let's play. So I've been redoing these as well, so now there's like the clouds and it's not just the blue background. These colors are not final. Also, I changed the font, which is better than the one that was before. Also, I'm working on these, the aesthetics of these too, so like you'll see like a blurry preview of the stage itself on the stage on the level selection screen. I haven't done the others because I have not implemented their levels yet because oh, it's not working. Why? Oh, that's awkward. So there's a bug there. Anyway, I know why it is because I'm trying to limit so that you can't just double click. So like you sure to double click on the play, it won't send you straight into like the level select, and I guess the bool for that doesn't get untriggered. Anyway, that's not the problem. So what else is new? I started working on a loading screen, and I added some slow motion when you like hit the bad guys, and I worked on them a bit, like how they explode. So like the satellite dude explodes now, and it's pretty cool. I didn't want to make the monster explode because that'd be a bit violent. So like his effect's a bit different. It's not final though, but I'm working on it. So yeah, it's just like this sparkly thingy when you when he dies, and he kind of just shrinks down. Also, these are not the final colors of the text, so don't worry. I know it's kind of like woo, all over the place, but yeah. So let's try again. Oh, I just skimmed it. Also, I changed the monsters' mask because their mask was like kind of pitiful before, so now they actually have some weight. Oh man, there's some long ass reverb in these sound effects. Also, these are not like the actual levels. These are just like for me to like mess around with. I'm just gonna recreate the levels from the original game. But I'll change some of them. Like the entire space section will be completely different, and also I'll be able to add more like elements since not limited to like a 3GS phone. Also, the slow motion is on a curve, so like it progressively gets slower, and then it progressively like goes. It's just not like slow motion and not slow motion. It goes with the curve. Also, I added some doff on the cannon here. I want to add it to the clouds too to make them kind of blurry, at least the ones in the distance, but I think that will make the rendering expensive, quote unquote, so I'll have to see. So there you saw the bad guy kind of like shrink down. I think there's only one level that works. Yeah, one last one, and then I'll show you how the cannon works. Bruh. Yeah, and the mouth's open and stuff, like, put a bit of effort. Oh. And he's dead. Also, like, if you do kill the eggs, it goes slow motion too. Ooh. Alright, also, like, completely did the UI, added, like, a nicer font. It's interactive, so, like, when I kill the bad guy down here, like, the score should, like, light up, turn green. And the bad guy, too, should also, like, do something. The bad guy did, the score didn't. I don't know, still looks to work out. Also, the slow motion only happens if you hit like a bad guy or an egg. So, for example, if I was to hit just like the blocks down here, like no slow motion. Ooh, almost game over here. One last shot, and here we go. Oof, nailed it. Yeah, I need to place the dynamic cameras better. Kind of just place them randomly. And then that's what I have so far. So the only one that actually has is like space, but I guess, oh, it does work. How about that? So this is where I'm at so far. I mean, there's still a lot to go. I like to show like how the cannon works. Before I do that, I should actually show what I'm gonna show. So the cannon, I try to get it like so it can be both accurate and fast at the same time. So like a little touch will give it a nudge, like a tiny nudge, and if it was to maintain that speed the entire time, it would be painfully slow. What can I see off in the distance there? Anyway, so that would just give it a nudge. So over time, it gets faster to a point so that if you have to like travel a long distance, it's fast. Ooh. Can still mess it up a bit, but you have to like intentionally like mash the buttons. But you can like precisely get to where you need to, and it's not too slow. So how does that work though? Well, let's see. Oops, wrong thingy. So this is everything to control the cannon, but this also controls the sound. So there's a lot of math involved in this. Basically what we're turning or spinning is this giant cube that we don't see. Because I had built the cannon before I imported the mesh, so this just acted as the cannon. I just left it there because why not? We never see it, so whatever. Also in the construction script, there's nothing because it's a cannon. It doesn't ever really change. So how does this work? So we have the same problem as usual. Like I talked about it in Foxy, when you have two inputs for like up and down that are separate and they're sending two separate signals, what happens is that it multiplies by 2. So if you had like, let's say when you pressed forward, you had like a magnitude of 1. If you then pressed up while going forward and it ran through this thing, you would magically have a magnitude of 2. So anytime you go diagonally, you would go faster. So how do we solve this while still being able to gate or branch the signal so it's not constantly like updating? So we take the axis value, we absolute it, we compare it to 0, and we compare both of them to 0. And if they are both true, so that means that they're both being moved, even if it's left by a little bit and up by a little bit, it will reduce the scale by half. So that way when only one is being pushed, like forward or whatever. Let me find the, oof, there's a lot of get scale, get scale. So the scale is here. So we take the axis value. This I inverted because instead of pressing up to go down and down to go up like you do with a plane, most people actually don't like that for Canon, so I flipped it around here. And I left it like this so I can add an option if you want to flip it or not again. Anyway, so the scale takes the axis value and it either multiplies it by 0.5 or by 0.1, so that way it's always smooth. So if I was to go diagonally, I'll show you really quickly. It doesn't go like twice as fast. So there's this speed, up, down, and if you go diagonally, it's like it's the speed that you'd expect. It wouldn't be like twice as fast. And if I set the scale down to like back to 1, you'll see what I mean. I'll do it really quickly. I'm trying to make this video not so long like the last ones, but I feel like this is quite a gotcha in the Unreal Engine. Like it's subtle enough that you won't notice it, but it's annoying enough to cause problems you would not notice. So now let's try going diagonal, and it goes much faster. Like you see, like the top speed is way faster. You can tell by the motion blur. Like at the very end, it just gets this ridiculous fast speed for no reason. And yeah, so consider that. So the way that I had, oh shit, wait, I shouldn't curse. So I think I just Control Z. Yeah. So I forgot which one it was. So yeah, consider that because in Soxy I just instead of branching, I just had it constantly updating, and that could cause performance issues if it's like constantly updating the actor's position, even if it's for nothing. And then another cool thing is that there's a lerp to make it gradually go faster over time. So I make an alpha. So the alpha is added here. It's a tiny, tiny increment by, I mean, really tiny, like 0.025. And as you're pressing either of the buttons, it gets added to itself over and over and over until it reaches 1. So that's like full power, that's full speed that you've gotten. It lerps, but it has to do it 2 times for everything. So everything is just done double for either up and down or left or right. And then what else do I have going on that's interesting? I know I'm terrible at explaining this. So start rotation is like the direction I want it to be looking at. And these two limit, so it goes either 60 degrees left, right, or 60 degrees up and down. Since everything is mirrored, yeah, everything is mirrored. So I could just explain one and you have the other one. So this is the lerp. So we get the input value, we get the scale, we lerp it together, we reduce it, we get 10% of it, we add it to the current Z, we clamp it to these. Okay, so it gets to start. Okay, yeah, I get it. So it gets original rotation and limits it to these. Why am I like looking at this like it's the first time? Anyway, and then we clamp it to like the values that we want it, so it doesn't go too far right, too far left, whatever. And then we make a rotator, and then we set the world rotation instead of adding. Like I guess a lot of this could have not been there if we just added to the thingy instead of set the rotation, but it's too late now. And also once you release it, the button, when it goes to 0, absolute 0, it sets the alpha back to 0. Huh, I just realized something. So I've realized that even if you're going like diagonally and you let go either up or down, you would get like it would still set the alpha down. So, huh, I guess this could be there, like they would have to both be false for it to reset. Anyway, that's for another day. And yeah, so everything is mirrored, so everything that's there is like literally like mirrored. Anyway, so that's the rotation. So we use the lerp to get a smooth rotation. We have that absolute comparison of both to make sure this and this to make sure that we have the right scale so it doesn't go too fast diagonally. And we reset the alpha for the lerp, and we add to the alpha as it's turning. It looks complicated, but it's really not that bad. And every time there's a -1, it's to like reverse the direction. Why is the direction being reversed twice? Anyway, I guess I could remove both. I guess it was originally reversed. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. So what else is there? So the cannon actually acts as the ball too. So like I'll show that after, I guess. So when you shoot the cannon, it activates two particle effects, the trail. It checks if you actually have any shots left. If you don't, why does it activate? I guess this should go before there. Anyway, it checks if you've already fired it, so like you can't shoot two balls at the same time. It subtracts a shot, and then it plays the UI animation of that you shot a ball. Then it makes this false so that you can't shoot again. We turn on physics for the ball. We set the mass here again. This is for because when you nativize the blueprints, it doesn't respect the mass of the actor. It puts it back to whatever it wants, like I think it was like around like 50. Anyway, problem was that the ball was just bouncing off stuff because it absolutely had no mass in kilogram. So that was kind of pointless if you couldn't break anything because the ball was pretty much like a styrofoam now. So this is just to really reinforce the weight of the ball when it gets nativized. And it's not exactly the same. 250 in the editor is not really 250 when it's packaged. So we will see. And here we set the speed of the ball. So we get the forward vector and we multiply it by 4,000, the speed. I have it a variable here so that if I want to just like quickly like tweak stuff, I can just change here. It's even exposed on the cannon, so each cannon can have like their individual power. So like if I want some objects like much farther away, I can give it some more power to compensate. Then we play the whooshing sound. So when you shoot a ball, so it chooses one of the four, and I randomize the pitch to give it even more diversity and stuff. Play the fire sound, switch cameras, the old camera switcheroo, so it goes to the chase camera, and then oh yeah, so I added a thing so like the arrows appear when you after you shoot, so that you know where the bad guys are, and this hides the arrow if they're still there while after you shot. And so the ball has 3 seconds to like hit stuff and whatever. It seems like forever. And maybe I should put it to 4. Who knows? We'll see. And then once that's over, it's like so we turn off the ball. We bring the ball back to the cannon. We turn off the fire trail. We attach the sphere back to the cannons so that when we rotate it, it also rotates. Then we make it so that you can shoot again. And if you have no shots left, you lose. And if you have one shot left, you get that one-shot warning with the animation and everything. And what else? What else do you do? There was another split off here, and then we switch back the cameras. We go back to the Canon camera, and we stop the lookouts on all the dynamic cameras because when you hit like a bad guy, the camera looks at it. And I was also talking about also all the sphere events, like this the cannonball itself is not like a separate blueprint or anything. It's like all considered in here. So we check what we hit, so we make sure we're not hitting. Um, yeah, so we make sure that it's a sphere that's hitting something, and we make sure that it's not hitting itself. So like at the beginning, it always hits the cannon, but we don't care, so we don't consider that. And then here we have like a sound effect, and every time it hits an object, I want it to like give off little sparks. So this is this weird ass loop here, and then it checks. So if a dynamic camera uh, is not already looking at something, it will switch to a dynamic camera, and it chooses one out of random. So it gets the length of the array -1 because this gives you the length. So if there was an object of, if you had like 5 things in here, it will give you a number of 5. But that in the array, it's really 0 to 4. So you have to -1 to make sure you don't get any errors. And here we have it looked, so we're not like switching cameras every single time it hits a bad guy. That would just be nauseating. What else that's interesting in here? Yeah, this go back to the pause menu if you press escape. This repossesses the cannon, but this is part of like the bigger loop. And I think that's about it. I mean, the cannon is pretty simple. It's doing a lot of heavy duty. So the cannonball is the cannon. Oh wow, that was easy. That resonance. And so I don't know if it would have been easier to have it as like just one item. Let's see if I can get the very top of it. Ooh. I like those sparks that happen when you hit stuff now. It makes it all like just more visually interesting, and how it explodes. And they're kind of alive. I need to fix their like animations, like give them some limits and stuff. Yeah, that red thing was to trace to see if there are any clouds in front of the screen. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. Please leave your feedback, it's more than welcome. I'm powering through everything as quickly as I can. I mean, not that many bugs. This, I'll be doing the options menu and this stuff soon. And then once everything is stable and I don't have to like recompile stuff over and over and over again, like once everything is final, I'll just do all the levels in like a couple days because they're already designed and everything. They're just waiting to be like quickly built and put into the engine. And then I'll do a beta test where I'll like release 5 of the levels for free and collect some feedback, see what's up, and yeah, it should be fun. And thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.